ANC Treasurer General Dr Levy says they're concerned about the formation of the MK party. Just last December, former President Jacob Zuma endorsed the Umkhonto we party for the upcoming elections, leading to his suspension from the governing party. Now, Ramokgopa spoke to the SABC news channel this morning and told us that the MK's formation is not only worrying for the ANC, but also caused confusion among party supporters.
Developments of the formation of the MK party is a concern for us, and what at least I found with the engagements I made is that it caused a little bit of confusion as to exactly what it is, because the messages initially were that this we're doing to save the ANC. So we have been clarifying all that, that the real MK, the military Umkhonto we as an ANC military wing has established itself as MK Liberation War veterans. We remember that we had the MK itself, Umkhonto we, as well as the council. So they merged to form MK Liberation War veterans. And as we explain, many of cadres of MK, they appreciate that, and they have come back, and they are committed to making sure that indeed we salute the contributions of MK and we strengthen MK Liberation War veterans, and that the ANC remains the political leadership and guardian of MK veterans, the true MK veterans. We have seen also some of the members there, you know, they wouldn't have been members of MK because of their age and all that. But we are really perturbed by the SY leaders of the ANC being involved in that, and will continue engaging.
All right, let's make sense of those sentiments. Levy Ndou is a political analyst and joins us now via our video link for his thoughts on that engagement. Great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks as always for making time. And I'm sure you heard Dr. Ramokgopa there. I don't know about you, Dr. Ndou, but this for me is the strongest admission yet from a senior ANC member that the formation of the MK party is in fact concerning for the governing party. Are you starting to see signs of some kind of shift to how the ANC might treat the MK party?
Good day, Ayanda. Good day to the viewers at home. My sense is that the ANC cannot just simply ignore the existence of the MK party. And by her own admission, and indeed the admission of many within the ANC, the MK party is formed to become a huge threat to the ANC's existence, not only in KwaZulu-Natal, but also in other parts of the province. The formation of the MK party is also created to create as much confusion as possible to the voters, and especially the naive voters, because from its inception, they said that they want to assist the ANC, they don't want to leave the ANC, but cause as much destruction as possible from within. And it is also very clear that there has never been any discussions between the ANC and the MK party. So it should be clearly understood that the MK party, it's formed to oppose the ANC, and that's why they're also contesting the elections as the MK party.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. The question that arises is what strategy then should the ANC use to respond to this? Because on the one hand, if they comment about the party, they may inadvertently give it credence, right, to amplify their voices. But ignoring it is also not really a good strategy, is it?
Well, the ANC has a tendency, and I've checked in many discussions or public utterances by the ANC, of not talking much about other political parties. And I think that is a strategy that is actually being used by the ANC only. My point is that those that are given the responsibilities to run the ANC in the province like KwaZulu-Natal, when the MK party is in existence, have the responsibility to go onto the ground and further educate their members and ordinary citizens about this existence of the MK party and the confusion that it might cause. The point is that whether the ANC likes it or not, there is a party called the MK party, which is formed to destabilize the existence of the ANC, and mainly in KwaZulu-Natal. They have to develop as many strategies as possible to ensure that their dominance in KwaZulu-Natal is not eroded because of the existence of the MK party.
Of course, many other things came out of the ANC's manifesto, which is what this discussion was about. For many people, there's this confusion, since we're speaking about confusion, of the difference between jobs and job opportunities. You know, Gwenda Makgoba was asked about this, and her response is that they're using both terms interchangeably. But I think those who are interested in the detail will know that it's not exactly the same thing. I wonder whether you reckon this is a worthwhile strategy for the ANC to put emphasis on this idea of job opportunities, which may very well be in the millions, versus jobs, which you and I know are few and far between.
Well, one of the biggest challenges facing South Africa is that of the creation of jobs. And if you look at the manifestos of all the political parties that have been launched, except the FF+, all these parties talk about creating jobs for citizens. What, therefore, would be a factor is that whether you talk about job opportunities or jobs, the bottom line is that citizens would love to get employed and they want jobs created. The first thing is that when you talk about actual jobs, it's very much general, and it therefore talks to the availability of jobs that one can point at and say, these are the number of jobs that are available. Opportunities, in my view, would talk about creating an environment that has a potential to be able to create many jobs. But also at the same time, Ayanda, we also need to look at the fact that it is not everybody that can be employed, even though you have got job opportunities that are available. I had a very interesting discussion with some of my colleagues yesterday that you still have people who are not skilled, we still have people who are not educated, we still have people who cannot be absorbed by any employer because of their own status or condition. But at the same time, you still have people who are educated, you still have people who are skilled, but they still cannot get employed. Maybe when you talk about jobs and job opportunities, you also have to look holistically at the number of people that we're talking about and the level of skills and experience that these people could have in terms of job opportunities that could be created in South Africa.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, when we speak about job opportunities, we speak about the economy. When we speak about the economy, we speak about how well it's run. And naturally, we get to a discussion around possible corruption. It was in 2020 when President Ramaphosa wrote that scathing letter, you might remember it, Dr. Levy Ndou, where he said that the ANC is accused number one when it comes to corruption. At the time, of course, state capture and the inquiry there dominated headlines. Gwenda Makgoba, as expected, was asked about how the party is responding to this. Let's listen to her response and then get your take.
We supported the Zondo Commission, and we still are calling for the state institutions to be more faster in terms of prosecutions. Those cases are being investigated by the NPA, and we want to call on South Africans, because some of these corrupt activities are not only limited to the private sector. I've engaged also JSE-listed companies to say, how do you cope? And they also cited that it is also a problem. It is also acts of some companies in the private sector. So we must put system. I'll give you an example. In health, when I was called to deal with some of the challenges there, we found that people are still using manual systems to invoice. And we intervened. We put a more digital system where you can see an invoice coming through and you look at why are the delays. And so you look at efficiency, transparency, and that's what I'm saying, that we've taken steps to learn from the past and institute measures that will identify corrupt practices early and intervene early. But we also glad that through the SIU work, a lot of money that was stolen from the states has been attached and some of it recovered. So,
but how much has been recovered vis-a-vis how much was stolen?
I can give you we can share with you the figures. These are public because these are public government institutions. What I'm saying is that the challenges will always be there, even in the future. They will always be there. It is how we work together to deal with them decisively.
Ndou with our Sakina Kamwenda earlier on today. You know, Dr. Levy Ndou, the ANC as the incumbent government, if you like, will be held to a very high standard, especially when it comes to issues of corruption. Having had listened to Gwen Ramokgopa there, do you reckon that the party is rising to that challenge?
Well, there is a clear acknowledgement on the part of the ANC and its leadership that corruption has been a huge challenge for the ANC. And there are instances where the ANC leadership has acknowledged that their loss of support is also being blamed on corruption and corrupt activities. The ANC today has got a very serious issue when it comes to its list that has to be submitted to the IEC, because there are certain individuals who appears to be implicated in corruption and corrupt activities. The difficulty is that you have got the ANC and its own processes that is worried about corruption, but also at the same time, you have got law enforcement agencies in the country that are supposed to act and ensure that those are implicated in corruption or corrupt activities should be brought to book. So when these institutions are dragging their feet or they're actually not moving faster, it also creates a situation where some would feel that corruption has been laid bare in front of all of us, but the law enforcement agencies are not acting. At the same time, you have ANC that has adopted a principle of step aside only when you charged. And our law enforcement agencies are not charging these people, and it puts the ANC in a very, very difficult situation. But my sense is that the ANC's internal processes that have to deal with corruption should be acknowledged, and it should be respected by all members of the ANC, because that is a potential to build the integrity of the ANC.
All right, Dr. Levy Ndou, as always, appreciate your insights on this incredibly important issue, the first of many discussions in the lead up to the 29th of May. Dr. Levy Ndou is a political analyst.